talk about this film that I'm re-releasing that I produced and made in 1979. People might want to ask, why would you want to do that? It's a subject that's, the NHL doesn't like. I call it the dark ages of hockey, where there was a lot of fighting, a lot of violence, and a lot of rough stuff. And I guess one thing is, let's never go back there. Let's see how bad it was. Make sure we don't go back there. But also, just talk about a little bit about the film that I did and one of the reasons that I did it. I mean, I was not a good hockey player because I started late in high school. I played recreational hockey, started for 3 years. And the reason I ended up quitting is because I got cross-checked and almost crunched my back into the boards once. Another time I got cross-checked in front of the goal. My head went into the back of the net, which was square in the back, and I dislodged the whole net, broke the moorings that the net stayed on, and could have had a concussion if it wasn't for my helmet, and delayed the game for half an hour because they couldn't fix the ice, and slashing on the back, and just stupid things that players would do. And I love playing the game. And then, of course, as an adult, playing men's non-contact hockey where a lot of the rough stuff pretty much is disappeared because people had to go to work the next day. That was fantastic. Just love playing it. And let's hope it stays that way. And certainly the NHL has brought out the skill and speed of the game now and eliminated a lot of the fighting. But looking at the history, I think it's good to know what it was. Make sure we don't go there again. So just to talk a little bit about the film, it was shot in Super 8mm, which is pretty low standards in those days. 16, I guess, was common for amateur productions. But I only had an 8mm camera. I took a course in sports psychology. And after I had to quit playing hockey, one of the professors, Dr. Michael Smith at York University, helped put a report on violence in hockey, which came out in this 74, I believe, by William McMurtry, who was commissioned by the government of Ontario to look into it. Because what happened at the National Hockey League level, the highest levels, ended up filtering its way down to the kids. And so that's the basis for the film. I wanted to hopefully clean it up, and I hope that in a smallest way, my film got the message out there, because I know a lot of the players I played with, a lot of the parents obviously did not like the violence out there. And in the way I did this film, I for the most part, that's me narrating it, so you'll be surprised. I got a lot younger then, but I also interviewed a few people, and the quality is so. I just redigitized it, so that's why I'm able to show it. I'm releasing it on YouTube. But for the most part, I wanted the angle of the fan watching the film, and so I was lucky enough to have someone who hired me as my very first coaching job in soccer. His name was just Mr. Jim McPherson, who started a soccer club called the Clarely Westview Soccer Club in Scarborough, and I played in the nearby rink there, Clarely. That's where I grew up. And now, by the way, that's an indoor soccer facility. But Jim actually, he's passed away now, but his name, they've called it the Jim McPherson Park. And the reason is he always wanted to keep prices low for kids playing sports. He was an avid hockey fan, but, he started a soccer club. Anyhow, he got me tickets. He had season tickets to the Leafs, and he was glad to help me out with the project by providing tickets. So most of the filming is from up high, but I let the camera roll. In those days, every 3.5 minutes, you had to change the film. That's all I had, so I had to try and catch the right moments. But it's funny enough that in only 3 games that I actually was able to go to, there's a lot of violence in those 3 games, and you'll see that in the film, and you might be surprised that you won't see that type of violence in today's game in a whole season. So it just goes to show, and it seemed like, and there's reasons for that. I think the game's been cleaned up, mostly when the Europeans started coming over and showing Canada that you don't have to play rough to be successful, and to use the skills and the speed of the game as opposed to violence to win. So in the film, I let the camera run a lot so that you hear the fans and you hear their reaction to what's going on, because that also played into why there is it was as it was there with the fighting and violence. So the amazing thing is that you see it's filtered down to the kids in the clips that I got. Again, I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to be careful filming. 3.5 minutes was like $10 in those days. So in this film, I wanted to give the audience kind of the crowd's point of view in most cases. So I let the camera roll both at the pro games and at the youth games, and you could just hear the audience and let it run. And I thought that was quite effective. I know it captured myself when I rewatched it. Kind of want to make you watch it even more. The film was originally shown at York University, and the people liked it so much. I said, it'd be great to get this on TV to get the message across, except that it was shot in Super 8, so the quality wasn't good enough for broadcast. But I sent it to my local cable TV network, and they said, well, we'll see what we could do. And they were able to convert it to beta, which for them, local cable TV, which was in Scarborough, a part of Toronto, and they showed it. And they called me up, says, hey, we're able to show it next Thursday night, 7 o'clock, tune in, and we're going to show it. So that's exactly what we did. I got the family, together, and we watched it on TV. Wow, I was so proud to have one of my films on cable television. 500,000 people live in Scarborough, so that's pretty good. And then all of a sudden, a week later, my cousin calls, says, hey, John, your film's on TV. I says, no, that was last week. You missed it. No, I'm watching it right now. Oh, they didn't tell me, but they played it again the following week. Then all of a sudden, I got a call from a friend who lived in another region, up in York region, say, hey, John, I saw your TV, your film on TV. He says, what? And I guess they offered it to their affiliates all across the country, so I don't know where it went, but even in my own station, I must have seen my own film every 3 days. They just kept playing it over and over, different times, Sometimes it was a prime time, sometimes it was the afternoon, sometimes it was in the morning. I guess they liked it. So I hope that in the smallest way, the info got to the people that eventually, hopefully, changed things, because now, obviously, the violence that we saw back then has been totally eliminated, which is great. So one of the things about filming is that I tried to coach hockey. I coached for a few years. I actually coached at Middle Leaf Gardens with in the finals of the City of Toronto Rec League. And then I applied for a more competitive job, which I got. And in tryouts, our first friendly game, I said, our first exhibition, I says, listen, first, anyone who fights, you're off the team. First game, second period, there's a big fight and a bench clearing brawl. So I had to cut everybody. Basically, I quit because there's no team left. So, and I'm glad to see that pretty much has been eliminated today. If anyone wants to show the film on TV from history point of view, you might need a better quality. You can contact me. nscac@rogers.com is my email address. And you may have to cover the costs of putting it into higher quality, because I digitized it in a lower quality. I hope you enjoyed the film if you get a chance to watch it. And again, John DeBenedictis here. Thanks very much for listening. And of course, my team in Toronto Maple Leafs. I'd like to see them win a cup one day. Take care. Bye-bye.